is the Lady Vols basketball team that we've been waiting to see for a while. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Lady Vols take care of business tonight. Probably one of the best games they've played in a bit. Now, I know it's not SEC competition, but still, yeah. 101-66 tonight. What program record for three-pointers in a game. And I thought they looked totally different from just a standpoint of I felt like I know Kim Caldwell talked about they needed the rest. She thought it would be good for them after their loss to Vanderbilt in the SEC women's tournament. I just thought they looked refreshed. I thought they looked like they had a lot more energy. I thought they, played more of their brand of defense tonight. They were making things happen tonight. And of course, their three-point shooting was just awesome tonight as well. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Here, guys, make sure you share that out. We got 15 in here right now. I look forward to pick up hopefully here in a little bit on it. We'll go here a few minutes and talk about it along the way. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Super chats, they are greatly appreciated on here as well. From the get-go, pretty close first quarter. And then I really felt like a big part of course, they outscored South Florida 29-9 the second quarter, never looked back. And then the fourth quarter, 22-10. Tonight, there was not that quarter where things just weren't happening. They made it happen in all four quarters tonight. And I thought it was big too. Second quarter, when you come out, Z Spearman went wild from three-point range, hit three of them, looked good shooting it too. Just everything about it, her form, her confidence, all of it. And she knocked three of them down. I thought that was really big for her tonight as well. Looking at the stats, I wished I had the NCAA tournament stats are different than like your live stats during a regular game. And you don't really get to see all the plus minuses and efficiencies and all those things. You don't even get the team statistics for it as well, the comparison. You can obviously go down the board and look at it and look. Even ESPN stats are a little better than what they give you for the NCAA. But Tennessee starting lineup tonight, they went Hollingshed, Whitehorn, Spencer, Tess Darby, and Spear. 7, 6, 15, 8, 11 respectively on that. And then with their bench, they got pretty much everybody in. Ajudele played, no points. Latham had 8 points. Spearman, talked about Spearman with the 3 threes that she hit tonight. 3 out of 4 from three-point range, had 13 points. Boyd had 5. Edie Darby, 0. Strickland, 3. Cooper, 20. I thought Cooper looked a whole lot better tonight as well. She was, her energy and all was just really into it. I'm keeping an eye on the baseball game here too, as we talk about this too. Tennessee going to the 9th inning, up 10-5 on this one. So looking pretty good for the Vols against Alabama tonight, barring that there's not some kind of a meltdown here with the pitching. But leave me a comment, guys. Let me know what you think now. What do you think going into Ohio State Sunday? We don't know the game time yet. And who knows after what they announced for the men and UCLA. I figured for sure that was an early game being played in Lexington. Nope, 9:40 tomorrow night. Carrie and I will be live with you on that one tomorrow night. You'll join us for that one as well. I'm going to hit some of the comments here. Got Carrie Carson. What's up? Appreciate you being in here. Says, go Big Orange. Sandra, good to see you in here. Sandra says, this is one of the best defensive games and consistent game I've seen in a while. No doubt about it. Michael says, let's go, Lady Vols. What a rout. Chuck Black says, go, Lady Vols. Lloyd Morris says, wow, let's keep it going. Go Vols. Tom Wade, way to go, Lady Vols. Robert Duncan says, Lady Vols played a great game tonight. Jasper Red said, Ohio State's young, smaller, and not as deep. So that'll be interesting then. That'll be interesting with it because they actually kept up with the substitutions tonight, which I thought was pretty interesting. And did they really you guys correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but did they not say something like they thought the subs were up to like 200 and some or something? That's pretty crazy, to be honest with you, what they've done. 13 Dub Man says happy with the win. Can't help but be excited for next year's squad with the girls coming back with recruiting class plus portal. Yeah, I think this is just scratching the surface with this team. I totally do, because there's a specific system. Your portal players that Kim Caldwell brought in, they were more meant for this system. A lot of them she inherited, maybe not. But, I've said this before. You're not going to hear that coaching staff say that. They may think it. They may not. They may just have the mentality of, we're going to take what we got and we're going to make it work. And I appreciate the fact that they don't say that, whether they think it or not, because that is something when coaches say that, it does even though sometimes it's the truth. To me, we can say it as fans, but I don't need to hear a coach saying that, because it just seems like they're making an excuse if things don't go well, whether they think it or not. But yes, I totally agree with you, Dub Man. With the 5 ladies they have signed to their recruiting class, and there's some good players from the portal who are out there. This will be a much more attractive option this time around, especially with the style they play, especially with the number of players that they rotate in and out. 200 plus substitutions in a game. That's insane. That's absolutely insane on that, because I know at one point they kept up with it, and it was like right around 70-13 on substitutions. So, going back to Jasper Red's comment here, he said Ohio State's young, smaller, and not as deep. With that as well, the way they're rotating it out, and I really thought pretty much everybody playing tonight contributed in some way, which was big for them as well. Maybe that can be an advantage for them. I do want to look at Ohio State's roster. Look at what their size is while I'm at it. Let's see here. See if I can get that one pulled up here as well. So the big thing about Ohio State, and I talked about it on Selection Sunday when they announced it, they are now 16-0 at home this year. So they're obviously hard to beat at home, but hopefully, you got to get them at some point, hopefully. So they played 9 tonight, Ohio State did, and all of them had at least 10 minutes tonight. Looks like they're starting 5. All of them were at least 25 minutes. They had Walker. All their production pretty much came from their starting 5. From their bench, they got 2 points on the night. You look at Lady Vols' bench tonight, which may be a little unfair with Cooper coming off of it, but they had, 54 points from their bench tonight. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy right there. So that means, from their starters tonight, they had 47 on the night. So pretty good night from the bench again. You had Cooper coming off of it, and Spearman. Spearman was easily her best shooting game from 3-point range of the season. And of course, she'll knock one down occasionally, but for her to hit 3 of them tonight, if she gets consistent with that moving forward, man, that's going to be a weapon coming in. I'm telling you on that one. Yeah, Sandra said be pretty awesome. Be pretty awesome. Beat Ohio State and put that loss on them for sure. Maybe get a little bit of revenge from football on it. Love the wrinkle mixing in Strickland for Puckett. Gives more athleticism on the press. Their press was as good as I've seen it in a while. Again, you're not playing SEC competition, but still yet. Even again, let's look at the last game of the year against Georgia, last regular season game of the year. South Florida probably beats Georgia, in my opinion. Could be wrong on that. Georgia wore us out. that game. South Florida tonight, they had a really tough time with that press tonight. There's no doubt about it. Yes, I totally agree, Tom. And I kind of wondered that too, and especially Coach Caldwell mentioned it, said that, we can get rested up. This may be a good thing. And I just saw an extra, looked like gear tonight that we've not seen from them in a while. And I think you got to, if I'm Ohio State and I watched that game tonight, I might be like, oh, yeah, that's the team that beat UConn right there. Had some guy come on here one night and tell me it was a miracle we beat UConn. I was like, dude, how close were we against Texas, LSU twice, Oklahoma in these games? And it was one of the more ridiculous It's none of you that's in the chat here, by the way. I don't even know if it was a Tennessee fan that I was having that conversation with, but I was like, it's not a miracle that they beat them. They were going to get someone at that point. I actually caught, it wasn't looking good, but I did call. I said they're getting one of LSU, South Carolina, or UConn, and they got UConn. This looked a little bit more like the team who beat UConn tonight. And, especially if they're shooting the ball like they did tonight, I'll tell you, man, they're going to be a handful to beat no matter who they're playing on any night. We've seen them play with the best. Now, obviously, they haven't played Southern California, USC, Southern California, nor have they played UCLA, but hung with Texas on the road. South Carolina was a 7-point game. Wasn't really ever in doubt, but they did make a run late in that game. And I thought they played really pretty poor that game. In fact, they only lost by 7. I thought was a testament to, number one, them not giving up, but they did, of course, teams kind of pack it. I wouldn't say pack it in, but they maybe go away from their game plan when they get a lead, and that enables teams to come back. Maybe that's part of it. Bottom line is Lady Vols cut it to 7 that night. And I think South Carolina started to sweat a little bit. Like, hey, we need to, I think Dawn was getting a little nervous on that one. But, we'll see where it is. Like I said, if this team, if their defense is like it was tonight, and if they shoot the ball like they did tonight, I'm telling you, man, they could make some noise next couple rounds. I'm telling you, they can. Now, we'll see. Obviously, it's going to be a jump up in competition in the next round, and you're playing a team on their home court who has not lost on it this year either. So let's see here. Yep, Lloyd, y'all hit that like button. Absolutely. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're in there, you see that thumbs up down there, just hit it. Guys, hit it for sure. I don't really know what happened last night. We got some thumbs downs, and I lost like 5 or 6 subs last night. I can't really figure out what happened on that, because I felt like we really had a good post-game show last night as well. So I was really kind of confused. There's some nights I get it, but I don't really get I don't know if something anybody said, but a lot of the stuff too, I wouldn't take it to heart that much on here, to be honest, especially if there was, I don't even know if there was disagreements. And I know we weren't really hitting the chat much last night, but we were just kind of in our own conversation, and it just some nights it just goes like that. There's nights that we really don't, we look at it, but we don't really go to it. It's nothing against anybody. It's just how we kind of operate on it, but it is what it is on that. See what we got. Yeah, I agree, Kyle. That number 3 for South Florida could shoot for sure. She, how many points did she end up with tonight? She had 28. Here, let's see. What year is she by chance? Oh, she's a senior. I was going to say, maybe she'll decide she needs to hit the portal, but nope. That's it for her right now. Yeah, she was a really good player. She was out there bombing them tonight as well. I mean, Lady Vols 16 out of 37. I'll be honest, most nights I'm like, it's a little bit too many on the threes, but Hollinshed 1 out of 2, Whitehorn 0 for 1, Spencer 3 for 6, T. Darby, 2 for 7. Spear, 2 for 5. These are from 3-point range. Latham, 0 for 1. Spearman, 3 for 4. Boyd, 0 for 1. E. Darby, 0 for 1. Strickland, 1 for 1. Cooper, 3 out of 5. Puckett, 1 out of 3 tonight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different Lady Vols hit threes tonight, and 5 of them hit at least 2 of them. That's a pretty dang good night. On nights like that, yeah, you keep shooting it. 43.2% on the night. If there's one, there's 2 things I could probably nitpick. One, 43-35 on the boards in favor of South Florida. 2, 7 out of 12 from the free throw lines, 58%. Those are 2 things you got to clean up moving forward. Now, part of that too is, looking at the shots on the night too. Lady Vols fired off 78 shots tonight. South Florida 64. So, in a game like that, when you have that amount of shots goes up, obviously you're going to have a good amount of misses as well. South Florida did take care of the boards. But then you flip it over to the other side here. I nitpicked those 2. South Florida, 24 turnovers. Lady Vols, 6. That's big time. That is a big time difference. 19 assists to 12 for the Lady Vols. 12 steals for the Lady Vols to 3 for South Florida. Fouls were fairly even, 14-11. Lady Vols, 14. South Florida, 11. So those are some, again, some pretty big numbers right there. And just the amount of shots when they're really rolling, 50%, 39 out of 78. That's a hell of a night right there. I'm telling you. If this team, if they continue, we'll see, what did it take out of them tonight, if anything. And, as much as they're rotating though, I mean, according to the minutes on here, ESPN doesn't have the freaking minutes. I guess they put them. Oh, here we go. Now they have them. The most you saw tonight, Cooper and Spencer, 21 minutes. Spear and Spearman, 20. Boyd, Latham, 18. Tess Darby, 18. Whitehorn, 17. Hollingshed, 18. Puckett, 12. So, 21 minutes at the most. So, I don't think that's where in a game like this, I think the amount of substitution is pretty big, especially when you're into having to play multiple times on the weekend here as well. Off topic, yeah, we can repeat in baseball. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And this team's going to lose some. That's college baseball for you. Looking pretty good right now that they're up 10-5 going into the bottom of the 9th inning. So barring just a collapse here, they're going to even the series. They'll go in tomorrow with the rubber match on it. Jasper said Ohio State struggled in the first half of Montana. So I want to look. So at the half on that one, yeah, it was 32-27, pretty tight game. That third quarter's really the big difference. 23-10, Ohio State outscored Montana State in that third quarter. So that's where your big difference on it is as well. And again, I'm curious because going back to Jasper's comments, they don't play a lot. They played 9 tonight, at least 10 minutes, but all but 2 points of their 71 in their production come from their starting 5. Can this Lady Vols team wear them down? And, if they keep the energy like they did tonight, they're hitting shots like they did tonight. I'm telling you, man, Ohio State, I don't care where they're playing at, they're going to have a really hard time beating the Lady Vols. I really think so. I was going to say, that looked like a perfect pitch. 1 down in the 9th for the Vols. Let's see here. This is a good one. Ohio State doesn't like to be pressed. Good. Hopefully our press can really wear them out tomorrow. Yep, absolutely, Lloyd. I hope they sent a message tonight. It had to have sent a message tonight, I would think, because we've not seen that. That's not the Lady Vols team that lost to Georgia last game of the year, which last regular season game pretty much put them out of hosting a regional game. I really think, and you guys let me know what you think on that. I really think that Georgia game was the difference in this team hosting versus. Well, and now it's 10-6. They're one a bomb for Bama, but yeah, we absolutely did. Lady Vols were in control of that whole game. Okay, the lady for South Florida is a super senior. Okay, let's see what else we get. I was thinking they said at the end it was like 200 substitutions on it. But, I mean, he could have been being funny and exaggerating, too. Let's see what we got here. Tap Out says we got to shorten the rotations against Ohio State. Not everyone can play in that game if they want to win. Interesting thought. And I'll be curious to see how they played as well. It's definitely a step up in competition. It's going to be different. So, hopefully, I thought we got a lot of production throughout the lineup. We're going to need that again if we want to get to the Sweet 16 on it as well. I'd say let's get to the Sweet 16 first, Kyle. let's don't put the cart before the horse just yet on it. If that team tonight shows up on Sunday, I just don't see them losing. I just don't. I was thinking I had seen that too, Jasper, that some of the analysts had them on upset alert, but nope, not tonight. So there we go. What's up, Big Orange? It says, okay. All right. Okay, Big Orange, go tell us he loves Tennessee baseball bunch. All right. Tennessee baseball 10-6, bottom of the ninth. Bama has a runner on with one out. We're getting some action in the bullpen. Looks like Franklin and Banky getting up. I think you get another runner on. You got to start getting a little bit serious, and they indeed just got another base hit. So this one is getting a little bit interesting right now. We're good right now. We could give up a 3-run homer here and still be in good shape, be at 10-9 on it. So we'll see on that as well. Hopefully the ladies' game on Sunday will not be as ridiculously late as the men's is tomorrow night. But nothing will surprise me after they announce that game time, especially based on where the locations are for it as well. Final thoughts on this one. I don't know to have much more to add. Love the press tonight. Love the energy. 3-point shooting was good. A big one for me again. They're pulling Snead, so I don't blame them on that one. A big one for me, I look at it like 6 turnovers on the night. It was Spencer had 2. Other than that, you had I'm only seeing 5 turnovers on the night according to the stat. Yeah, I'm only counting 5 turnovers, yet it says 6 total. It says Spencer 2, Spear 1, Spearman 1, and Edie Darby 1. That's it. That's 5. That's not 6 on it. That's 19 assists to 5 turnovers I'm counting. That's almost a 4-to-1 ratio right there of assist to turnover. I'll take that any night of the week, any night moving forward. Rebounds, Holland shed 5. Cooper led the team with 6 rebounds. There was a time or two down low where there were like 4 Lady Vols players there and a South Florida player end up getting the rebound. That can happen right there. That can't. You get in against an Ohio State or somebody could very well get you beat along the way But man, I'm really pleased with how this team played. Like some of you said on here, there were some of the analysts had them on upset alert tonight. But this Lady Vols team, they definitely had other ideas tonight as well. After the first quarter, they pretty much put that upset out to rest, and they took care of business from that point forward. And again, just kind of recapping what I talked about a bit as well. Their peppers. Tony's going to have to get Sneed out. Now we got the tie and run coming to the plate, and he's just leaving him in right now. Same thing had happened last year in Game 3 against Alabama. Alabama started hitting him, and he wouldn't pull him. So we got to get him out right now, and I don't care who it is, either Banky or Franklin. I guess this is somewhat turning into a Tennessee baseball watch party right now, impromptu. Lady Vols 41-2 in first round game. When's the last time they've been actually put out in the first round? Oh, Vitello's pulling him. So this thing's, oh man, he's going to Banky too. Woo. Talk about high pressure here. Because Banky had not pitched much, and now here he is in coming in a save situation. So it's we'll see where he goes. And then he's got Franklin up too, one way or another. So interesting. This one's getting a little more interesting than I hoped for on this one. But we'll have to see. This Lady Vols team, what is it? They're the only team who has made all tournaments. Is that right? They're the only one I think I heard that's made every single women's tournament. That's pretty cool along the way. I wanted to look at, again, I was trying to pull it up and couldn't get. I wanted to look at Ohio State's roster here while we're waiting. We're just going to stay with this thing. I was thinking about wrapping up. We're just going to stay with this one through the end of the baseball game tonight. We'll just kind of watch this thing together. And all right, looking at Ohio State's roster, we're looking at, and I want to kind of compare it with, so their top 5, and I don't know if is it Thierry or Thierry? I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways. Depends on Petty, McMahon, Cambridge, Gray. That's what I want to see here with their size. Petty's 6'3", and she's listed as a guard. Let's see if it gives a pronunciation on. Is it Thierry? I just, one of my pet peeves is mispronouncing names, yet I don't have the correct pronunciation of it either here. So I do apologize if I mispronounced that name, but she's 6'1". McMahon, Cambridge, Gray. So Cambridge 5'8", Gray 5'9", McMahon 6 foot. Pretty good sized team, actually. Cambridge 5'7". Let's see here their backups. Walker, Watson, I mentioned Cambridge and Green. Watson 5'8", Green 5'8". Walker 6 foot. Okay. So their tallest player is, they actually have a girl at 6'6" on here. She's from Finland, but I don't see her listed. She didn't play tonight. I said Petty's a forward. So she's 6'3". Hobbs, don't see. Hobbs is 6'4" for Ohio State. She's not listed on the scoring either. Maybe a good matchup. There, yeah, their tallest 3 girls are not even in the rotation right now. I don't know if they're redshirting or what here. All right, 2 down. Banky got the out, fly out the left field. 2 down. Can end this thing. All right, I've already answered this one. Can we win back-to-back World Series? Yes. Yes, we can. We can absolutely win back-to-back World Series. This team's good enough. They're going to lose some games along the way. So this is definitely a World Series title contender this year. How about all right, who's he? Oh no, don't bring Combs in. He's going to Franklin. Combs is up though. So big thing with Franklin here is going to be don't just throw down the middle. Because his speed's not an issue. Don't just throw it down the middle. Here, you've got to have got to mix it up some. So Banky come in, got the out, did his job. Now it's up to Tanner Franklin. This is what he was brought in for right here. So we'll see if he can close this thing out or not. Last time he was out, he gave up the winning home run to ETSU. Had a pretty rough weekend against Florida last weekend as well. If it isn't Franklin, they're going to Combs. And right now, that to me is two guys who's got a bit to prove on it. So we'll see. We'll kind of stick with it. Here, last time they lost in the first round, 2019 against UCLA. Okay. All right. But it doesn't happen much. That's for sure. Ohio State has no shot blocker. So I mean, that seems to me ideal for a Ruby Whitehorn who likes to drive Cooper, who can drive. If you could get one of them, Spencer can drive as well. If you can drive with them, kick out to Jules Spear, that should be something that they have pretty much right there for them. That'd be pretty nice for them to do. Let's see what else. Once we'll talk a little baseball. Baseball team tonight. I'm just going to shift into baseball. I don't know how much more to talk about with Lady Vols. Great win though tonight. We'll do this thing again Sunday. We'll be with you the rest of the way on men's and women's, and then we'll start to amp up the baseball here. Hopefully back in some baseball live shows too. I'm not doing this has been impromptu talking about baseball, but I'm going to kind of probably do a little bit of that after baseball after basketball winds down, which is hopefully not for a couple more weeks here. So shifting totally into baseball watch party mode here. 10-7, 2 down. Runners on first and second. Tying run is at the plate. So we'll see what's Franklin. I'll tell you, Franklin's thrown 12 2/3. Last year at Kennesaw State, he averaged a walk per inning. The fact he's gone from a walk per inning to a walk per almost 13 innings now, that is really impressive. Oh, that's a good looking pitch. Looked like it was right on that inside corner. Oh gosh, these are the type of guys that make me nervous. This dude has no home runs on the year. I think back to Notre Dame 2022, game 3 of the Super Regional. God had 1 or 2 home runs on the year. Is the dude who hit the go-ahead home run. He's serving it right up to him. 1 and 2 fastballs. I thought the first one looked pretty good too. All right, man, let's finish this thing. Go into tomorrow with a chance to win it. Stay and play. Nope, nothing there. All right, 1 and 2. Come on, man, finish this thing off. I had heard from a good source today that Bama's team got really, really cocky after the game last night. I was texting with somebody earlier, and they would know pretty well on this. And they said, yeah, Bama was evidently doing a lot of mouth running last night after the game. So come on, Franklin. Close them down here. Oh, that was a nasty looking pitch, man. A little bit high though. I like the mix up. If that's maybe an inch or two lower, that's a perfect strike three. That was a really good pitch. Not necessarily from a strike standpoint, but that was a really good pitch from a location standpoint. I'll come back. Ball game. All right. Set it up perfectly after that off-speed pitch. That little breaker come back and smoked him. All right, Vols win 10-7 tonight. Big win. I'm probably just going to do a video on it here in a minute, and I'll release that here. We'll kind of recap it. I'm still going to do a video anyway because that's kind of a big part of it. But Tennessee never trailed tonight. They got out at one point, got up 5-0, and they never looked back. Alabama made it close a couple times, but there were some dudes who hit tonight. And look here what we got. We've got a visitor here tonight. This is Frank as well. This is Frankie. Part of the reason my House of Orange name was Frank, because this joker right here who decided he wants to make an appearance tonight. So he actually has made appearances in the past, but not on this channel. So good. I guess he's coming up to celebrate too. But look at the baseball game tonight. To me, big Curly 2 for 4, big 2-run home run for him later in the game. I think Abernathy's done really well in that 2-hole the last 2 nights with Keelan out. Inslee had a really good game tonight, 3 for 4. He got him going early with a base hit. That Inslee had 3 stolen bases tonight too. Fisher 1 for 2. Levi Clark. This is the one I'm concerned about. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts tonight. I think you got to give him tomorrow off, and he'll hit at some point. But right now, he's just one of these guys right now I think you got to adjust to, because these big time coaching staffs, and that's a good program at Alabama, good coaching staff, especially with the freshmen, and Clark has that uppercut swing. Teams are going to make him adjust on that. He'll have some big hits later on. You wait and see. He will. I think tomorrow's a good time to give him the night off. They did pinch hit for him late tonight. This time I agreed with it. Last week against Florida, when Vitello did first game, I said I didn't get it. Tonight, I can't see how you couldn't have when he come up. And Bargo come through. I loved it. Bargo hit one off the wall, scored Andrew Fisher. Bargo come through again later on for a base hit up the middle, scored another run. Really happy to see that out of him tonight. And I think for certain, I mean, with just those 2 hits, his average went up 30 points tonight. Chapman 0 for 5, Lawless 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Pretty rough. Tennessee struck out 14 times tonight. 3 from Clark, 3 from Chapman, 4 from Lawless. Marin 1, Antigua 2, Curly 1 on that. Antigua was in at short tonight. And I'll tell you, man, I don't have a problem with it at all. I think that if there's some guys not hitting, you got to look to defense at that point. And surprised Antigua. Well, that was a pretty tough play. They didn't charge him with an error. I wouldn't have had a problem if they would have, even though the way it was kind of a tough play, but they didn't give one. They charged Marin and Lawless with errors tonight. On Alabama's side, Alabama had 1 error. Left fielder let, what was it happen? Was it a base hit, went to the fence or something? I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, I think it was Marin hit one that went under the left fielder's glove, and he ended up getting the third base on it. But we had some moments, left some guys on tonight, which, that's one of them at times I'll kind of pick at some. Again, 14 strikeouts tonight, that's a lot. left on base 10, and still scored 10 runs and won by 3 tonight. 37 at bats, 10 runs, 11 hits, 10 RBIs, had 1 double, 1 home run. So just 2 extra base hits tonight. They did have 9 walks. Pretty big. Curley 2, Abernathy 2 walks, Fisher 3, Marin a walk, and Antigua a walk. You know, if Antigua's getting on a couple times and stuff, especially at this defense. Now, he missed a chance early in the game where it was but Abernathy came through, I'm pretty sure, on this. Antigua had a shot with the runner on third, and he popped out. That we can't have that. We guys have got to get the ball in play on that one. But guys come through numerous. Again, the Bargo ones were big tonight. 3 RBIs actually for him. Again, when he pinch hit the first time for Clark, he hit it off the wall and scored Fisher. He come up the bases loaded later and scored 2. That was huge for him. And you know, he shows those glimpses of getting things going, and then he'll hit a slump. Hopefully, this is something that gets him going. It's a pretty good Alabama pitching staff that they face tonight as well. And I mean, some of these ERAs are kind of ballooned up, but I think Alabama was probably trying to say, but their first couple guys quick. They knocked him out of the game in 2 innings. Blackwood, who has a 3.32, he went 2 innings, gave up no runs. Morris, no runs, but then they started getting Alabama's bullpen. The last 3 guys over the last, 1 1/3 innings held them scoreless, but there were a couple walks. There were some opportunities there as well. Pitching tonight, to me, the biggest moment was the bases were loaded. Phillips got through 4 2/3, pulled him, brought in Dylan Loy. Actually, there was 2 on. Loy walked the first guy to load the bases, and then he struck out the dude on a pretty nasty breaking ball that was low, and the guy swung out, ended the inning. It was huge because that was Bama was starting to feel it. They were starting to get hyped up, and then Loy kind of put the fire out. So, you know, great job by them as well. And then after that, Loy only went to 1/3. Of course, he pitched last night, pitched excellent. He has arguably overall been Tennessee's best pitcher this year. And I'm including everybody just in terms of what he's done in the moments he's done them. He has been big. He has really gotten some big outs this year. And he's not going to overpower you with a 98, 99 mile per hour fastball. He's probably at most around 90, maybe 91. But his breaking stuff, it's excellent. Snead 3 1/3. Bama last year got to him as well. He gave up 8 hits and 4 earned runs, had a walk. Banky come in, big out for him, got the fly out. He threw 2 pitches. Tanner Franklin come in, finished it. That, to me, could be a confidence booster for Tanner Franklin after the last 3 outings he had. The guy has the stuff. He has the speed on it. And the way he used that breaker, the next to last pitch, set him up to smoke that dude in the game. Loved how they used that one as well. Got a few more of you join here. Appreciate you guys tuning in on it. What's up, Brad Ledford? Says, damn, thank goodness. Glad to see a win. Yeah, I was saying going into the night, said barring something crazy happening here, we've got this one under control. Well, tying run was at the plate. Yeah, Kyle, I don't like the late game either. I really wished it would have been early, but we'll be here with you regardless. We'll have a little midnight madness tomorrow night. Sandra says you think we beat UCLA tomorrow. Yes, I certainly do. And I want Kentucky. Next, I so wanted tonight. I had to go up, take some stuff up to Asheville tonight. And I went into this place on the slope to eat some pizza, and there was about 10 Kentucky fans come in decked out in Kentucky stuff. I really wanted to say I hope we see you next week. But, we'll see. What's up, Mason Guest, member of the channel? He says, woof, just joined. Baseball's got my blood pressure up in the ninth. Yep, really nice to see Curly have a good game. A little worried about Levi. Levi's got to have tomorrow off. I think at this point with it, I'm all for letting him work through it. But a freshman SEC play, he's hit that wall right now. And I think he's still going to have some big hits down the stretch. Right now, based on his last, I'm thinking even ETSU other night, he had a bit of rough game too. Might be time to give Clark a day off. And maybe a couple days off. We'll see on that. I would tomorrow, and I think after Lawless with 4 strikeouts tonight, I'd go back Peebles tomorrow, to be honest with you. But a part of me wonders if you get to a point, Bargo's got to work his way in. And, especially after what he did tonight, you got to start Bargo somewhere tomorrow. I don't think there's any doubt on that one. I would not, unless Keelan is playing, which I've not seen. I would honestly expect that he doesn't play tomorrow. I would go with Antigua again. I don't think I would think twice about it, because where Antigua may not get 3 or 4 hits, he's going to make up for something in the field. His glove is that valuable. The ETSU game the other night were probably not as close, if not for some plays he made on it. But yeah, I agree with you, Mason. What Curly did tonight was big. That was big, hopefully, to get him going. Kyle Beach says he's got Tennessee by 6 over UCLA. If you guys haven't already, I did a preview of them this morning. I looked at UCLA. I tried to look at all their metrics, but I went down all their stuff. I've still got it all written down here. Points per game, scoring margin, field goal, 3-point free throw, turnovers, rebounds, all that. They're really very similar teams. Tennessee's got a couple of advantages. Rebounds is one, and there was another one I saw had a free throw percentage. Tennessee's about 4 points higher. That could be the difference. Those 2 metrics there, if Tennessee can win those based on those margins, that could be your difference in the game. But UCLA doesn't seem to have that guy who can just light you up for 30 or anything. It's that they seem more of a spread it around type team. Biggest thing is going to be, of course, Chaz going. If Chaz goes for 20 points, Tennessee wins. But if you get Chaz, Ziegler, and Jordan Gainey, then they do their thing. If they're around 40 or more, Tennessee's odds to win are good. Funny, I don't know if any of you guys saw this today. Ziegler's brother entered the portal today. Will have 1 year left. I just wonder, and I've not seen anything. I've not looked at VolQuest or anything because I'm sure it's been mentioned. But I would be curious to see if Barnes maybe thinks about that one, bringing him in, because you're going to need a lot of players. And based on, I've kind of reading the tea leaves from Rob Lewis. I don't know that Tennessee gets Chance Mallory tomorrow. He's not said that they won't, but he's basically said it's anyone's guess on that one. And, NIL might be becoming an issue. And I'll tell you, if I'm Tennessee, I'm not paying these high school kids a ton of NIL money on it, because they pay, based on what I've read, they pay Julian Phillips and Freddie DeLeon pretty good NIL money, and we saw how that worked out for them. Both guys done after, I know Phillips went to the NBA, but he was hitting the portal. He had entered the portal prior to deciding to stay into the draft. So neither one of them worked out. If I'm Barnes, I think the 2 guys he's got coming in from high school, they're good picks. They look like guys who fit his system, especially Evans. You got to go portal crazy this offseason. And I really think this portal has prolonged Barnes' career. And I talked about this a little bit last night as well, because it just seems to me like it works better for him with the more advanced age, more veteran players, these guys who've been through it and can probably handle quite a bit more too than maybe some of these younger dudes. So I'll be interested to see if he goes after Ziegler's brother. That is crazy. DeLeon made like the most money on last year's team, and that's pretty crazy on it, especially for him to hit the road, because he was a guy I'm like, man, just stick around. There's a few guys I just don't think made the right decisions. But, I don't know. Everything went on. The part of me says they couldn't take Barnes coaching, and Barnes is not going to let up on them, because if you let up on one, you're going to let up on the rest. So it's his style. You know it when you sign on with it. I mean, I'll tell you, I know who I think it should be, Brad. I think it should be Coons. Will it be? I don't know who else it would be unless he goes Arvidsson tomorrow, and I just don't think that's the move. And I think 2 times you've started Tegan Coons, and he's looked really good both times. Let him keep building up, man. This is one of the most talented pitchers on your pitching staff. Let him roll with. Quit trying to be cute with these these to be determined. Just make him your Sunday guy. Or Russell's not coming back till next month. Anyway, maybe Russell becomes a Sunday guy. Who knows? But right now, I think you're making a mistake if it's anybody other than Coons. I've just, based on the guys we've seen, other than Doyle and Phillips, those 2 guys have looked good. Loy's a different type guy. Loy's role is perfect right now. Sneed's going to have nights like tonight. He didn't have his best stuff tonight. Last weekend, he was excellent on it. Sneed's going to be really good most nights, but he's going to have those nights where some nights he's just, because he doesn't have a lot of movement on his pitches. Throws hard. He can throw off speed stuff, but like a Liam Doyle, for example, he doesn't throw a single straight pitch. Every one of them, especially if that 2-seamer is moving. And I need to get into the really breaking some pitchers, analyzing them down. Could be a pretty good feature of the channel to kind of do some of that. I know there's channels that, kind of analyze football plays, blocks, and stuff. Nobody does it baseball or basketball. So that might be something to might be an idea to keep in mind. I'm really wanting to pitch out on some stuff, and I'm kind of having a hard time thinking of anything more than what we're doing, but I know there's got to be more out there as well. I go Coons tomorrow. I don't think twice about it. And I know they had him on a pitch count last week. Got to keep upping him, in my opinion, on it. Let him go. I think his pitch count was around 35 last week. I'd at least go 40, if not up to 50 tomorrow, and see how he does, unless Alabama's just knocking him around. But he'll be ready. He'll be ready to go tomorrow, and there's no doubt. I think that's easily the best option at this point that's left. And, it's really kind of surprised me how they've used him. And I don't know if it's a case of they're trying not to use him too much early, which I don't think's a bad move. I don't think you just get him out there and use him up early. You want him at his best late in the season on it. And I wonder if they learned that from 2022 with Burns and Beam, where those guys were almost gassed out at the end of the season. Yeah, it could be similar here where they've eased. Of course, Coons was sick the first weekend, or he would have pitched. He was pitching on Friday night after Doyle, but then go from there. I think you go with him tomorrow, see where he goes with it. I don't mind Coons to Arvidsson. I'd say Sneed, based on tonight, he threw 74 pitches. He's done for. He's definitely not pitching tomorrow. 40 strikes and 74 pitches. That's another thing. He didn't have his control tonight. That got him in trouble tonight. Loy only threw 10 tonight. Franklin only threw 7. Those guys will be ready to go tomorrow. I saw Combs warming up. I don't think Combs is a weekend guy. I really don't. I think he hangs too many pitches, and I think a team like Alabama will wear him out. I mean, ETSU is a good hitting team. ETSU wore him out, Tuesday night it was. But trying to see Vitello, if any of his presser is up yet. He may not have made it in there. See what I can find here. Sometimes it's a little bit later, and I've not got any texts about his presser either. I normally will get something pretty quick. And they don't have everything Tony Vitello said. Let's see here. I'm gonna look on VolQuest. Still looking here. Bear with me. All right. Nothing yet on that. I'm gonna look at one more thing. People are speculating. I would go Coons to Arvidsson and then go from there with it. Do you go? I mean, Lloyd could throw again. Franklin can throw again tomorrow. Banky could throw again tomorrow as well. I mean, you could go Combs if you had to. You could. I wonder at some point if they don't start working Braden Krenzel into the weekend. He's done some really good things. I think you got to take a look at him in some of that weekend stuff. He almost seems a little bit. He doesn't have near the movement that Lloyd does, but he's kind of along the same speed. Throws some good breaking stuff. I think that's an option to look at. And yep, good point, Tyler. Got the SEC co-pitcher of the week, Alcock, throwing tomorrow. He was 7 innings, 8 strikeouts last weekend. He and Marcus Phillips were. So, that's but the dude does have a 3.6, which is not bad. But that is he can be hit. But last weekend he was really good. So, what guy do we get tomorrow? Be curious to see if I wouldn't expect Keelan to play. But I'll tell you, man, it makes after what Abernathy's done in that 2-hole, I think it warrants some discussion if you couldn't move him up. But when Keelan's there, I would have Keelan no lower than second in the order. I'm not moving him down. If anything, I would move Curley. But I kind of like Curley in that leadoff, but it was getting to the point of some questions on it too. Tonight helped ease some of those, and I'm really happy about that because he's going to be a guy that we need to be huge. And you look at it last year, how many times did it come back around where Christian Moore was in that leadoff spot and made some teams pay when the bottom of the order come through? And I think this bottom of the order, when they get it going right, is going to come through and get it back to the top. So as well. I think I'm going to wrap up on that one, guys. I am going to still make a video on the game here and release it here in just a few minutes. So if you're a baseball fan, check that out. Lady Vols rolls on tonight. Great win. Great effort from them tonight. Ohio State Sunday, we still don't, that I'm aware of, know the time on that. I don't know if we'll know that tonight or if it'll be sometime tomorrow that we'll know. But we do know for sure they're playing Ohio State on Sunday at Ohio State. Men's team plays UCLA tomorrow night at 9. Baseball team plays tomorrow. I think it's either 1 or 2 o'clock. Let me look at it on here again. I know it's definitely an early game. Here, let's see. There's the schedule. Baseball team plays tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern time at Alabama. So, rubber match of the season. This was the last series that Tennessee baseball has dropped. That was a year ago. That was what the opening series of the season. Tennessee won the Friday night game 11-3, dropped the last 2, and Tony Vitello was kicking himself over that. It was almost similar to tonight. They started getting the Snead, except last year he didn't pull him, and it ended up costing them along the way. But that's where we're at tomorrow. Lots of stuff coming this weekend. We'll be live. Carrie and I will be live tomorrow night. I'll be live Sunday after the Lady Vols as well. And hopefully we still got a couple more weekends of this stuff for basketball. Hopefully we're not going straight into portal mode on Monday. But we'll take a look at some options on that as well. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Again, make sure you hit the like, the share, the subscribe. Check out the links in the description for the channel memberships and check out George Foreman pass away tonight? No way. I just saw something about him recently. It seemed like he was not doing too bad. Oh, man. He was always a fun dude to watch, man. I mean, most of what I remember is when he made his comeback and won the title. What was he? He was like 50-something when he won it, if I'm not mistaken. Knocked out Michael Moore. I do remember that one. So, oh, man. And I was just thinking here tonight, I was about to purchase me another Foreman grill here too. So, pretty cool guy. Always a funny guy. Always seemed like a real fun. Was he 45? Okay. All right, General. I couldn't remember what it was. I remember it was Michael Moore, though. I remember he knocked him out on it. Or at least I'm pretty sure that's who it was that he knocked out. But that was, I remember people were pretty amazed when I don't remember how long he was out of it, but then he come back and he looked good. But I'd seen some stuff I felt like was pretty recent that he was still knocking the piss out of some bags. So, man, yeah, rest in peace, George Foreman. Seemed like an awesome dude. And but gonna wrap up on that one, guys. I'll see you guys later this weekend. Have a great rest of your evening. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. Last but not least, go Vols.